eyed him for the final chapter of his career. I don't know if there's a life after this one, but I do know that beloved writers enjoy a kind of immortality through their readers. He used to refer to his writing process as sitting alone and telling myself stories. But really, he was telling them to all of us. And he still is. Alex DeMille, Brooklyn, New York, January 2025. Chapter 1. Brigadier General Stanley Dombrowski hung up the phone and listened to the sound of his own breathing, and of the rain beating against the windows of his second-story office. He recorded this moment in his mind, thinking he might want to recall it someday. He rose from his desk and looked out the window. The heavy downpour pelted the flowering dogwood trees that lined the strip of lawn beside the United States Army Criminal Investigation Division headquarters in Quantico, Virginia. The spring rains had started early this year and come on stronger and would not let up. At least that was how it felt. But maybe the weather was just the weather, as it had always been, and the thing that was changing was Stanley Dombrowski. This might not be a homicide, Stan. This might not even be a crime. The phone call had come from his boss, Major General Stephen Hackett, the Provost Marshal General who was the commanding officer of the Army Criminal Investigation Division, and the Army's top law enforcement official. Stephen Hackett generally did not hand down assignments personally, and Brigadier General Stanley Dombrowski was no longer supposed to be directly overseeing cases either. But this was something different. Something big. The rules of rank and responsibility did not apply. Dombrowski walked to the window where he caught his reflection in the rain-streaked glass and the glint of the general's star on the shoulder loop of his green service uniform. Getting older had its perks, and the promotion to general that he thought would never come finally had. The pay raise was nice, but he lived modestly and hadn't needed it. What he had needed was the respect and recognition that was owed to him. He'd finally gotten that 5 months ago, after he'd taken a big swing on a high-profile homicide case in Berlin. From the point of view of the higher-ups in the Pentagon, it was supposed to be a rubber-stamp job. Let the Germans do the work, nod along, and say Dankeschön. It was their jurisdiction anyway, and the case looked pretty open and shut. But something inside General Dombrowski, then Colonel Dombrowski, told him not to follow the script. It was probably the same qualities that had led his wife to leave him: arrogance, paranoia, and a pig-headed will. The good stuff. So Dombrowski had assigned the Berlin case to 2 CID special agents who he knew would follow the truth wherever it led, which in that instance was into the deepest abyss of human evil. We're on the bleeding edge here, Stanley. We need to get this right. Getting it right meant getting the truth, and in this case, the truth might be dangerous. This was not the time for safe assumptions, or half measures, or ass covering. He walked back to his desk, picked up the phone, and punched a number. It rang once, and then Special Agent Scott Brody said, "Good afternoon, General." "Scott, are you at HQ?" "Yes, sir. Ms. Taylor and I are in our office having a working lunch. I need to see you both in my office now." "Yes, sir." "Can I bring you some chicken lo mein?" "No, thank you." He added, "I'm going to need you to clear the decks, so think about who can inherit your caseload." "With pleasure, sir. I look forward to our new assignment in an interesting and exotic locale." "Prepare to be disappointed." "Yes, sir." Dombrowski hung up. Turning down carbs was a relatively new habit of his.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.